Let me ask you, what's the highlight of your weekend?
Yeah, the Spanish derby. Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's get straight into action from the local front. Let's look at the match day 31 result from the MPFL games. Good games to look at. Like I said in the intro, home teams were able to pick up all 3 points, and some also were able to pick up 1 point from their home front. There you have it on the screen. If you have Wiki Tourist played on Saturday to bat out, the game ended goalless. Remo Stars against Quara United, the game ended 3-1. We have Katsina United, the face Shooting Stars. Katsina picked up the victory, 1-0. We have Kano Pillars, fantastic goal from Ahmed Musa. Rabiu Ali getting 2 assists in that game against Eyimba. Also, let me inform you that Warri Wolves played to Kennedy Poboye side. Benden Insurance game ended goalless. Kun Khalifat against Ikorodu City, a big game that happened on the weekend. On Sunday, the game ended 2-2. Let me inform you that Plateau United picked up the victory against Bayelsa United, 1-0. And Fidelis Ilechukwu side, Rangers International picked up the victory against El Kanemi Warriors, 2-2. Let me inform you that Abia Warriors are going to play today to Niger Tornadoes and Nasarawa United to Rivers United. Let me start off with where you left off, saying Remo Stars picked up the victory against Quara United, and that's one game you excited to see. Talk to me about the game.
Okay, so the thing is that we know that Remo Stars, they're the defending champions, and currently it seems that they are about to be relegated. And one thing I noted is that, as I mentioned earlier, they do not have an away game. They do not have an advantage when it comes to playing away from home. But one thing I've noticed over time is that whenever they are playing at home, or when they are not playing where the opponent's fans are, there is so much intensity among the fans, they tend to win. But at the same time, I really do not think that this result, this winning and not winning when they're away from home, is going to put them in a good position in the fight. Yes, in the fight against relegation. So I really think that the odds are very much against them. And it's, as I mentioned, it's something I've noticed among other teams as well. Whenever these teams, some NPFL teams play away from home, there is always them losing. But whenever it comes to them playing at home, they win. But for a team like Remo Stars that is trying to fight against relegation, I really do not think that this on and off performance puts them in the right position.
Abiola, are you going to agree to that, saying the on and off performance would not help steady the ship for Remo Stars if they are to fight away from relegation?
Yeah, exactly. I support our opinion because it seems like when they are on the trot, when they are away, they slow down their momentum. But when they are at home, they put on their best. And so if this up and down, I don't think it will help them because it's just like 5, maximum 6 games to the end of the season. So if they don't give themselves the extra push, I don't see them not beating the drop.
Okay.
They were lucky in that game. Quara United went ahead, got a penalty to even go ahead again, and lost the penalty. That was the point for me. Quara United lost it. But at the end of the day, it was an interesting game. We saw goals everywhere, and
Victor Obaoma back on the score sheet.
Back on the score sheet. It's been very prolific for Remo Stars. So it's just as expected, a very beautiful football game. But they were very lucky. They were playing against opponents like Quara United, who are also struggling this season.
Yeah.
It was against a different
side. It looked like relegation fight. Actually.
Yes. It was a different side they were playing against. They had the chance to go up ahead after even Remo Stars came level. They had the penalty. They squandered the chance, and it was Remo Stars all the way to the end of the game. But for me, I still stand on it. Remo Stars will not beat the drop at the end of the season.
Beautiful. All right. Let's move on to the big game. Also in the weekend, Kano Pillars played to Eyimba. Let me start off with you, Sanuruddin. Fantastic game for Kano Pillars. Look at where they are. Also a team where we're fighting relegation, and they were able to churn out the victory at 2-0. Before the game, I saw videos of Kanu Wanko and Ahmed Musa, trying to watch some friendly, 5-a-side football, and it was just an atmosphere to look forward to. How football can bring back legends and unity together, but that did not stop Kano Pillars from picking up the victory on their home turf, 2-0.
Yes, it was a very big game, and both teams are actually struggling at the moment. Kano Pillars are not exactly out of the waters yet for the relegation dogfight, and the Eyimba seem to draw themselves back in the mud every time. Yes, you mentioned there was a 5-a-side friendly before the game. Yes, that's what we want to see. Big games like this should attract more and more funfair and fun attractions that will bring people to the stadium, because most times it's not just the 90 minutes of football that defines the whole day of football. So if you have things like that will bring people together, will generate revenue, and even attract players to say, okay, some people have been hearing the name Kanu Wako, and what a chance to see him at that tournament, or what a chance to see him to get his autograph or something. So it was good for the fans and good for the culture in general. And by going to the game, very good win for Kano Pillars. Musa scored a very beautiful one. That's what you want to see from your star man or the man that wants to take your team to the next level. So it was a beautiful game at the end of the day, and that's what we want to see. Kano Pillars have the 3 points in their bag. Enyimba need to go back to the drawing board. It's troubling times for them right now, and I think they will be my candidates to join. No, I tell you,
you said you needed a candidate
to join
to join them
the confirmed 3.
So
I
think
Enyimba, but I'm not yet settled on that yet. But if they keep up their missile performances, I think they will join them at the end of the season.
Let me ask Abiola, before we move to the next game to talk about, Katsina and Shooting Stars. For you, Enyimba United, I'm also going to talk to you about Enyimba quickly. Enyimba United this season has not shown, the status of, one of the top teams when it comes to MPFL, and it looks like relegation is looming for them. Do you see them, go through that patch? And also, you look at the management system around the Enyimba. I saw, a report last week saying that a player, requested for, money for ACL injury, and the management, Kanu Nwankwo was still the chairman, saying that we're going to pay you, but we're going to deduct it from your salary, taking it, you're going to be like a loan for you. So on and off the pitch is not working for Enyimba Football Club. Abiola.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Enyimba, that used to be the shining light for Nigerian teams in the continent, they are struggling. And if you really look into their situation, they have a lot of financial issues now. And I think there was a time there was a probe that was going to go on. I think they stepped it down because there's allegations that the Kanu Nwankwo-led management mismanaged some funds. And it's unfortunate that for your player that is injured on duty, and you now want to deduct the cost of medical bill from his wages. It's really unfortunate situation.
For you, on and off the pitch, not still working. What needs to work for them to escape relegation?
They've lost two matches. They drew like 2 and also won just 1. And this is not, as you mentioned, Enyimba used to be one of the top teams in the MPFL. But one thing I know over time regarding the trajectory of teams across several leagues is the fact that great dynasties do not live on forever. There'll definitely come a time, whether they try to avoid it or not, that certain things will not work in their favor. And I think for Enyimba, we're actually witnessing that moment. Regarding things not working for the team financially off the field of play, I really think that it is an issue that a lot of MPFL teams are when it comes to finances. And regarding the player that is currently going through an injury crisis, okay, the thing is that I really think it boils down to the contract that is signed between the team and the player. And one thing I notice about MPFL is that it's not all the time that clubs and players tend to have contracts. Because if there is a contract binding the player and the team, then I really think that if that exists, there will be a solid ground for a lawsuit. But with that not in place, but based on the way I'm viewing, I really do not think that there is a contract behind both the club and the player together. Because if there is, the decision that the club took to pay the player for the ACL injury and still collecting the money, despite the fact that he suffered the injury while playing for them, it is a solid ground for a lawsuit. But unfortunately, it is something we witness oftentimes in the MPFL.
All right. Come on. Sanuruddin, it looks like we're going to go to the court soon. But let's talk about Katsina United and Shooting Stars, because I know very soon we're going to come back to the case where I'm going to have you and, Mabuba, discuss about the situation or surrounding CAF. But, let's just move swiftly. Katsina United against Shooting Stars. You said on Friday that this is not a game that you see Shooting Stars winning, but a game they need to win to put them and propel them. One, for the vision they set for themselves this season, saying that the continental ticket is one they are vying for this season, and also maybe propel them to a fight for the MPFL. But that did not happen. The game ended 1-0 in favor of the home team.
Yes, Katsina United looked like they wanted him more, and they pushed and up until the end. They got 1 goal late in the game. That still did 3 points for them. For Shooting Stars, another disappointing move for them away from home. We're asking lyrical about their performances in their home games against Rivers United and against what's his name? Yeah. I've forgotten the second team they play right now, but they got 6 points. But the problem has always been away for Nuruddin Awura and his boys. And on Sunday again, it proved difficult for them again. And we are saying the same story over and over again. You need to get things right on the road if you want to put yourselves in the right conversation. And I don't think they will still get enough points that will propel them, because right now, Ikorodu City, a team they're also vying for the continental title or the title together, got a draw away from home. A draw would have been enough. At least you won a point from, but they didn't get that. That's why United play Rivers today. That's a top of the table clash. That's going to affect their ambitions as well. And Rangers International won again. So the point gap is opening up again, and they're playing Rangers International next. A very tough fixture at home. Yes, they might manage to get the victory from there, but for me, Shooting Stars need to find their balance. Even if it's just a draw away from home, you should try and at least get it just to keep up the points and make up the numbers that will be enough to meet their targets. Right now, there are 3 or 4 points adrift the positions that will get them into the CAF Confederations Cup or the CAF Champions League. So they still have 6 or 7 games to go to prosecute there to try and hit the target, but it's looking very slim and tougher as the day goes by.
I'm going to pick up from where Mabuba left off earlier on the show, saying, away teams. I mean, if a team is going away from home, is this season in the MPFL, they're not throwing out results. I think one team that was particular about doing that was Ikorodu City. We saw the consistency from Ikorodu City, but later on the stage of football, when it comes to the MPFL, they began to decline. But let me ask you, quickly, Abiola, away teams, why are they not turning out results when they go, to play away football? Most especially, you see a team like Shooting Stars, you look at the record, I'm sure Mabuba's trying to help you get that quickly. They're not turning out the result away from home. For you, what could be the reason why we are not seeing teams, pick up victory away from home?
Yeah, it's unfortunate for away teams that they are dropping points on the road, and for Shooting Stars, it's a peculiar problem. I think they've lost their X factor. You realize that in the last few years they raised our hopes, being our darling team, and just the last few games of the season they begin to drop points, and it's unfortunate. They have a new chairman doing all his best, giving them new players with all the support. In fact, at a point they had to go by flight and all that, but I don't know what's really happening. Previously, we have given them excuses. Maybe it's fatigue because they've had issues on the road. Robbers have attacked them. Vehicles break down. But now that things are a lot better, new management in place, we expect them to deliver the goods. But it's still the same old story. And I think their case is also peculiar with other teams. There's this laxity when you're not demanding for the points enough. So there's nothing that can happen. If you don't demand for the points, you don't go all out for the points, you're not going to get it.
Get the victory. You want to say something quickly?
I'm always shocked because a team that plays well in front of their fans just suddenly turn back. I don't know the voodoo or the catastrophe or the formula that attracts that.
I think Mabuba has the formula. What's the formula? Because I know you helping me check out the stats away from home for Shooting Stars. For you, you look at the away from, it's not working for them. And I just gave you the honors now, saying you have the formula. What's the formula for picking up victory away from home?
Apparently, Shooting Stars have lost all the games they played away from home this year.
Beautiful.
They've lost every single one of them. And as you mentioned, it's a peculiar thing when it comes to Shooting Stars always losing away from home. And for a team that is fighting desperately for continental tickets, this inconsistent performance that we see, whereby they play very well on home soil, and then when they go away, they display a shambolic performance. It doesn't put them in a right position. It doesn't help their quest for continental tickets. And the same thing we see from Shooting Stars and a couple of other teams in the MPFL, like Remo Stars, for instance, even Abia Warriors. These teams do not have good games when it comes to playing away from home. And one excuse that I want to give these teams, maybe they are getting closer to that particular point of the season, whereby it's like a psychological disadvantage that these teams are witnessing when they play away from home soil.
All right. So maybe it's time to talk about Bodma. So let's look at Nasarawa United against Rivers United. How do you see both teams set up? And you look at the form for Rivers United, really shambolic performance, especially its
results. It's going to be a difficult one.
That best is not best team enough for me. This is the fourth away game they are going on. They don't seem to have peace. They led the league for about 2 or 3 weeks before they were toppled by Ikorodu City and Rangers, and now Rivers again. So it's going to be a very tough one. They don't want to go to Nasarawa. And Nasarawa United don't look like a side that will want to drop points, but it's football. Rivers United can gather the momentum and gather the courage today and get the marks. I still don't understand the contrast of playing in front of your fans. It's the same pitch, it's the same football pitch. Yes, there are some bad playing surfaces, but it's still the same football. There are no differences. 11 players against 11 players. But when you just go away in front of you, is it the tactics that changes? Is it the team not gelling? Or I would like to speak to an expert or
maybe a coach,
a backroom staff of one of
the teams.
One of the teams, and explain why it's always
Stars and
all right, we'll be looking forward to the games for today, the match day 31 games in the MPFL Rivers United. Let's move swiftly because of our time, and let's take more stories surrounding the world of sport. And this is coming through from the world of athletics. And Enekwechi finishes 11th in shot put. Nigerian shot put star Chukwuebuka Enekwechi delivered a determined performance at the World Indoor